Guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So, this poor woman, she thinks she's just, in for no big deal. It's not a big deal. She'll be out and on with her life at any minute now. She just has to get through this hearing. Well,
And so with regards to your time at, I think, did you say it was Bowen or Parkview?
I actually went inpatient at Maple Heights.
Maple Heights, you said, I'm sorry. And do you have any documentation? Did you talk to Ms. Bullenbacher about the fact that you were going inpatient there?
I didn't have a chance to.
Okay.
Because I called 2 times. I tried to call and she wasn't in. And she told me I didn't have to leave that kind of information on the answering machine.
Got it.
Or tell like the people at the desk. So, no, I never had a chance to get a hold of her. And the next thing I know, there's a warrant for my arrest
Got it.
because I missed the second one.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to let me know about?
No, just if you give me time, can I do house arrest?
Okay. All right. I'll consider that. Mr. Odell, I know you're kind of pitch hitting here. Is anything else to add about how Ms. Hanchu is doing on probation?
It looks like
don't worry. The prosecutor will let us know how she's doing on probation. We'll just let this defense attorney speak for a minute.
things are still fairly new. I did talk to Stacy last week. She asked about the warrant and mentioned Maple Heights. I don't have any dates, and then she didn't provide any last week. So I guess overall, it sounds like Stacy's wanting to do well or improve. I don't think we'd have a problem. They're coming back.
Yeah.
To the OR, and Kelly knows more about violations. So
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Thurston.
Judge, I have a couple questions for Ms. Hanshu, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Ms. Hanshu, you stated you had were inpatient at Maple Heights, correct?
Yeah.
And do you remember when those dates were, or when you first went in?
I don't. I have a book at home. I can't remember the exact dates, no. But I have.
Was it before July?
It was before July, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember communicating with a Bailey Franzi from the Bowen Center?
Yeah, she's my skills coach.
Okay. Do you recall texting her back on July 1st, where you had made some statements to her about you wanting to commit suicide by cop?
I believe I had said that before, but that was when I was in that real low down. I mean,
You had also
because
texted Ms. Hanshu. You had also texted that if the Adams County Prosecutor's Office didn't stop messing with her, that you would show them. Do you know what you meant by that?
No, I don't. I know I was pretty upset because I feel like my ex is walking through and my daughter both are making up lies about me and stuff. And I feel like no one will look into that and no one will stop that when it could be stopped so easy. The lies that can be proven so easily because there's videos like of parking lots and stuff where it can say, okay, you're lying, you're making false police reports, but no one will help me in that way.
Okay, Ms. Hanshu, I was just asking for clarification from your text messages, okay?
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling you. I've just been so frustrated with the
All right,
way
Ms.
everything's
Hanshu.
going with that.
Thank you. And Judge, the only other question I had was for Mr. Odell, if Ms. Hanshu has been tested since she has been incarcerated.
He is the person she threatened. He is the prosecutor right there.
Tested, like drug tested?
Drug tested, I'm sorry.
Mr. Odell?
not while she's been incarcerated. I can look back for the last screen. Yeah.
I told Kelly I'm willing to do a blood draw. I've been clean, because I've been doing the Vitrol shot and stuff. I have no problem testing right now. I have no problem doing a blood test or.
Okay. Well, hang on,
as far as
hang on, Ms. Hanshu. We're just verifying the last date that was.
We can ask the jail to help us get a drug test.
Yep. Yep. Okay. He doesn't have that date. It doesn't look like, but he was just saying that we could have that done. But Mr. Thurston, what's the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state's obviously concerned for Ms. Hanshu's safety and the safety of the community. She had made these statements after she was released from Maple Heights. She made the statements on July 1st and she was incarcerated July 3rd.
Okay.
Based on those statements, I don't believe the state is not comfortable with releasing her at this time. Now, if they have an inpatient facility or somewhere that she can go, I think we would consider that. Otherwise, Judge, we would be asking for a revocation of her sentence.
Okay. Ms. Hanshu, you had explained, a little bit about the statements. Obviously, I'm concerned with.
We have people who have a 4th DUI on probation and have a 7th protection order violation, and nobody asks for the whole sentence to be revoked. Nobody does.
With the safety of the public, if you're making statements that you want to commit suicide by police officer and or that you have
that was the question Bailey had asked me, and I said, well, if nothing else, I said that's what I would do, but I wouldn't do that. I have my youngest daughter at home, and I would be leaving her with absolutely no one.
Right.
Because she has no one. Her dad hasn't seen her in 2 years. She don't go to family. I couldn't do that. I've got grandkids. Sometimes I talk off the top of my head when I get so frustrated, but I haven't done nothing in 4 years because I'm learning ways to talk myself down out of it. So I haven't even had any attempts or anything in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never do that. My whole thing of never committing suicide before was because I didn't want to affect other people. I always thought about who had to clean me up or whatever if I did commit suicide. That's why I never did it before.
Right.
And I still have the same thing. I would never ever commit suicide where I'm going to affect other people. Okay.
What about threats that were made to the prosecutor or to police officers? What about those threats?
I'm not sure exactly what that one. The only thing I can figure out what that one was about was because they won't leave us alone.
Who's they?
My daughter, my ex and them, and the cops will not take a police report. And they could so easily prove that these reports are false because there's video cameras of parking lots. But nobody wants to do anything like that. And yes, I did get frustrated and call, and I don't remember what I said, but I am not a threat. You can ask anybody you want, a threat to anyone in this society. I'm not. I would never do that. I would never do anything to affect other people like that.
Okay. Mr. Odell, do you have the time that's hanging, or Mr. Thurston?
Judge, I believe she has 365 days hanging over her head, and she does have 5 actual or 10 sentence days of credit towards this violation.
All right. Ms. Hanshu, I'm concerned with the threats to the prosecutor's office, to threats to law enforcement, and I think that the time
in threats, sir. It wasn't threats.
I've heard enough at this point, and so I'm going to revoke the 365 days, grant 10 sentence days of credit. However, I want you to still work with Ms. Bullenbacher for a couple things, and hear me out on this one. I want you to have if there's a recommendation for inpatient, I will modify this order as soon as Ms. Bullenbacher or Mr. Odell sends a notice to the court that you have been accepted for an inpatient stay at a mental health facility. I will do that very quickly. The other thing I want you to work with Ms. Bullenbacher on, with regards to the condition of probation, I'm still going to have probation be active in this case and not discharge you at this point, because in the event that you are back on probation, you've completed an in-house portion, that modification, I can see that alleviating the cost for that theft prevention course that you've not completed. So I'm telling you to work with Ms. Bullenbacher on that. I think you indicated that you had started down.
Can I please say something?
Sure, go ahead.
My mental health cannot do this in here. I can get a hold of Bailey. Bailey can get me into Bowen right now.
If that's the case, then I will have Mr. Odell contact Bailey Franzi, and then that modification will be very quick. All right, if that's the place.
Or something. I'm in one room up here. My mind is going horrible.
All right. That's Mr. Odell will contact Ms. Franzi here today, and we'll see if we can't get that all lined up, and that'll be a quick modification. But at this point, the court's revoking the 365, and I'll take a modification request up for consideration as soon as probation submits that
I don't know what all
notice.
this means now.
All right.
She's shocked. Hold
That's
on.
all we
watch.
have. This hearing is concluded.
I thought this was just about.
And then it hit her. And then it hit her. So we get these judges, and they say, I'm going to give you probation. I'm going to give you probation, but if you mess this probation up, you are going to jail. Now, I don't know what her initial crime was. This was her first revocation. And I think she missed 2 meetings. And because the probation officer was out. And then she threatened the prosecutor and threatened to commit suicide by cop. So that is messing up on probation. You get one chance, and then that's it. And now that was it. Now she's going to have to get some mental health. She's either going to do 365 days in jail, or she's going to, the treatment he's talking about is not drug treatment. It was mental health. So I'm coming. All right. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you all again really soon. Bye, guys.